Good afternoon, honorable judges. I'm Nafisa from the first speaker of the negative team. Pleasantly express my thanks for your interest again in discussing our motion today, right now about this House opposes awards and recognitions in the artistic and or creative fields. And as I previously stated, I am Harapi standing against the motion. And first thing first, to rebuttal some arguments of the government team about the idea of giving unfair rewards towards those different types of art style or creative results. Well, this kind of confusing since the government team said it themselves in the very first that they took the example on Grammys for the musician, Tony Awards in theater, or Oscars and BAFTAs in film making, etc. And if I have your permission to actually give other example, we have an art galleries also to house individual works of fine art. And now the question is, what was the government intention to say to not generalize different kinds of art styles? I mean, we already giving specific rewards and place, decent place towards some different kinds of creative results. There's already their own judges and valuable kinds of appreciations of these arts values. So why would you worry about, I mean, there's already fair separation between different types of art styles and work of arts. If you love music, for the example, you have to try Grammys. There will be no such thing as a painting suddenly being brought into the Grammy building and then being crowned as Album of the Year. There will be no such thing like that, which proves that art activists or the government say as unnecessary judges have full awareness to appreciate work according to their field and their right to get objectively viewed. And what is the actual meaning of recognition itself anyway? Recognition is a form of appreciation toward those deserving it, where recognition can only be given to visible things logically. We can only recognize something where it is visible and we can clearly see it by our eyes. Which means these artists choose to upload their work to the world and they're probably proud of it or they are wanting to get more values from it. Then what's wrong with that? It's their right. That's why government team argument about it's not a necessity for us to give a decent recognition towards artists' creative results and instead letting their own followers giving it themselves to them is absolutely a bad idea. First thing first, because they choose it themselves to get their art visible, to be recognized. It's a take and give, or give and take. Since artists are aware that right now, even there's no quite enough or regulations rule that anything spread in the public is still individual matter, and they're still choosing to spread their work art to the public. I mean, people can clearly see it. They might get interested to judge it in both perspectives, telling the artist lame or either giving biggest appreciations towards the careers. Artists are aware with this. And second matter of point, why only taking an example on already famous artists? Why not looking at other fascinating talents if government really want to talk about fairness? Here's the thing is that we're not living between only these famous artists. I mean, those Grammy musicians. It's not only them in this world. There are also millions of small music activists fighting for about their career in the whole world, and they themselves seeking for what? Only a piece of doing music? No. They also need an appreciation and recognition as their talent deserve to get the same treatment to be seen. And also, they want to get more value from it, obviously. Recognition is important, especially for these kinds of small artists, since they still crawling to get the yes, you are decent acceptance by the society. So their artwork will possibly be globally supported. Even recognition is important for those already famous artists. We will especially talk about this later, but recognition there for something. If the government say that the idea of these rewards and recognition specific standards and requirements is unnecessary and unfair, then it's a massive misunderstanding. Grammys, Tony's Award, like the government say, are setting standards that must be filled by the winner potential of these awards. And it's not the meaning of giving them a separating wall of or put artists against each other. No. Matter of fact, these standards made by the sounds of majority. For the example, Grammy's Album of the Year awards are decided by a huge number of music experts, which is trusted by the society also in the very first place. And all of them discussed to set the standards to reach the awards by accumulating of society standards and taste in music. So it's basically decent since it is bringing the agreement for majority of people. So whoever winning the awards, then they are the one technically chosen by the society. And for the idea of giving unfair rewards again, where were the strong proofs? What was that? Oh, it's so unfair that we're seeing nominated artists then commonly hugged each other saying congratulations after the rewards came from the house's cue cards. It means they know and in the end of the day approved and are okay with anything elected in the rewards. And about the TikTokers' opinion, well, probably they're not as decent as the other artists, but they are probably they not work harder, but they work smarter. They know the opportunities right now where there is a huge opportunity in the TikToks where millions of people use it and they can get more faster. They will faster getting value from it and they are smart for using it as a form of their talents development. Probably they're not as decent as other artists, but they are can be said as smarter. They taking the smart opportunities towards this. So who was actually feel so cruel with this? These artists who are getting nominated are the people who see it. The fact that without any forms of recognition itself, we will never know who's Katy Perry, who's Nicki Minaj anyway. Recognitions are there for a reason. That's why. It is not there to choose who's like better than who or who's like clearly having better arts, no. But who is the most commonly preferred by the society in that moment? Means that even if some artists get recognized doesn't mean the other artists are bad. This having the same idea of followers. Follow equals with probably agree or preferring the one you followed. I mean, they are great artists, but probably just not or not yet requiring the standards given by the society. And the thing is that if they feel enough by it, then they can stop there and just enjoy their own arts as they're satisfied. And if they want to be known and getting recognized by people so that they can value more of their arts, then they have to compete, want it or not. To sum up the debate, I have spread my opinion. First thing first, we believe that there's no such unfair acts, even more in a big form of rewards, since their requirement based on society's agreement. And the second matter of point, it's not necessary to erase the idea of giving rewards and appreciations toward artists, since it's very important for the artists itself. It's giving acknowledge to people that the artists exist so that they can get more value or can get more benefits from their own arts. I am proudly opposed.